Hey guys, so this video is just a quick one about checking your fuel system if you get a new used ski and what you have to go through. This is a 96 GSX and it's in excellent condition, especially, everything's been gone through. The gray lines have been updated. Everything looks to be intact, no leaks. It's all real good. It actually runs. I've had it in the water and I tried to ride it, and it was one of those runs great on the trailer, and you put it in the water and it runs funny, bogs down, that kind of stuff. So don't trust what the previous owner told you about the state of the fuel system and the carburetors. My recommendation is go ahead and take the carburetors off and rebuild them yourself, or send them to somebody that knows what they're doing. But you want to make sure you understand everything about the state of the fuel system. And the fuel circuit's kind of complicated, but look in your manual and get really familiar with how it all works. I'm not going to go into the details here, but there's 4 different nipples that come off of the tank, and one of them is vent related, one of them is a return line back from the carb, one of them, or the other 2, are reserve and main fuel lines that go to this selector switch. And then there's one lead coming off the selector to the what's called the water separator, that thing, sometimes known as a filter. It does have a filter in it. It serves 2 purposes. The water sinks to the bottom, so it's intended to not only filter but also keep the water separated out of the gas before it gets to your carburetor. So your carburetor is going to have 2 hoses. I've connected, this blue hose is just a test hose that I've connected with some fittings here to that's the input from the selector. And then you've got another hose back here on this ski, which is the return line. So these 2 hoses complete the whole circuit. So with your gas cap on and tight, you should be able to pressurize your system, and it should hold something like 3 psi all the way through. If it doesn't, then you've got a leak somewhere and you got to chase it down. This one doesn't. I've just been honestly testing it with my mouth as a preliminary thing because I don't actually have my pressure tester. But to start with, what you can do is, if you have your selector turned to the off position, if you pressurize the input to the carbs, what that is this hose actually goes back up to the water separator, and the back side of the water separator goes to the selector. So since selector is turned off, this should all be a closed circuit. There shouldn't be any leaks, but I'm going to show you what I found. There is a leak, and first of all, I sprayed a little bit of soapy water that I mixed up here on that, and I also sprayed it down in here. I'm going to do it again so you can kind of see it. Hit that a little bit. And then I'm just going to blow in this hose and watch what happens. There you go. So you saw it. There's a little bit of a leak there. So I need to fix that, and it's kind of making me think I need to check all the other fittings too. But that's what you do, is you systematically go through. I'm not going to lie. It's hard to get to the fittings underneath this and get the soap on those, but you kind of have to go through that and do it. Hopefully, if you're lucky, the rest of it doesn't leak. But anyway, that's what you do, is you want to make sure that fuel system is good and solid. Also, a couple things to keep in mind is you got to make sure that this here is the input vent for going into the tank, and it shouldn't be blocked at all. You should be able to put a larger diameter hose on it. Like what I do is like this one, stick it on there like that, and then blow through it to make sure it's free and clear, but you can't pull out, so suck on it, make sure it holds vacuum. And then the other one is this vent line going out, which is up underneath here. Usually it's different on most skis. Most of them are here on these models, but you can see there's 2 of them. One of them I think is a battery vent that's not used, or a telltale line. I think that's a battery vent, but one of those is the one way out. and it's a pop off one way out. So you have to pump it up to about 3 psi and then make sure that that thing pulls out. You can test it the opposite way with suction with your mouth. Just put a bigger hose on it like I just showed you and suck on it. Should hold a little pressure, and then you should feel it pop off. You can use vacuum gauges and pumps to confirm that it's around 3 psi, but you can usually tell pretty good with your mouth if you've done that a couple of times. Not recommending that you use your mouth too much and get gas in it, but you know, I'll leave that up to you. So you get the general idea here, guys, is check down that fuel system and make sure it's rock solid, because if you have a lot of strange problems with your ski running, you're always going to be worried about those little gremlins in there. So make sure there's no gremlins in your fuel circuit. All right. So hope this helps you, and have a good one and good luck, and we'll catch you on the next one.